Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're at Battersea Park and we're here to explore and review the outdoor fitness area. To get things started, let's take a look at what equipment this fitness area has to offer. We have a pull-up station with pull-up bars of 3 different heights. We have a Calisthenics Rig with bars of various heights including the monkey bar. We have a parallel bar station. There is a hurdle station with 2 hurdles. There is 2 balance beam stations, one with low balance beams and one with balance beams with 3 levels. There is a push-up station with 2 bars. There is a station for sit-ups with a flat bench and a decline bench. There's a rope climbing rig with 8 ropes. And finally there is a monkey bar station. Okay, now we've taken a look at what is available at this fitness area, let's take a more in-depth look at each individual piece of equipment. The rig is the centerpiece of this training area. It has 4 bars of varying heights. It has a low bar, medium bar, a high bar and a monkey bar. The medium bar is around 240 centimeters in height, which I found was a perfect height for me. I'm around 180 centimeters and I felt the bar was built for someone exactly my height. I could comfortably reach the bar by going on my tiptoes and perform pull-ups with legs fully extended without my toes touching the floor. The highest bar was around a foot above my reach, but I could easily jump to reach it. The inclusion of this bar makes this rig accessible for taller individuals, allowing them to perform full range of motion pull-ups without having to bend at the knee. The low bar was around 200 centimeters and I could hang from the bar to perform pull-ups, although I had to bend my knees, so I would likely not use this bar to perform pull-ups. For me personally, I found this bar was good for performing exercises in which you had to get above the bar, such as assisted muscle ups and straight bar dips. However, it was a bit of a jump for me to get above the bar, so I would have preferred it to be slightly shorter for this purpose. This lower height bar makes the rig more accessible for shorter individuals and children as they can easily reach the bar. The monkey bar in this rig was one piece of straight metal welded together, which made it very solid. I also found the height was very good as I could go across the monkey bar, legs fully extended without my feet touching the floor, increasing the excitement and engagement. The inclusion of the monkey bar also allows you to perform neutral grip pull-ups of various widths, which is a great variation of the standard pull-up. Overall, I really enjoyed the rig. The construction is solid and accessible to people of various heights and shapes. The bars have a really nice grip and a good circumference, allowing you to easily grip the bar and do pull-ups without worrying about grip. The only improvements I would have made to this rig was to have an additional lower bar so you could perform rows and possibly a dip station to perform dips. Next, let's take a look at the pull-up station. This station has pull-up bars of 3 different heights, a high, medium and low bar. The high bar was a perfect height for me as I could reach it by going on my tiptoes and perform pull-ups without my feet touching the floor. Although I feel like anyone above 6 foot may have to bend their knees, although this is not a major issue. The medium bar was a bit small for me and personally I wouldn't use it to perform pull-ups. I see it could work well for a child or a smaller adult. The low bar was too low for me to perform pull-ups but too high for me to perform rows, although I could see it being used to perform straight bar dips. I think only a very small child could use this to perform pull-ups. The quality and condition of these pull-ups were not great. The metal was slippery even in a dry heat and all of the bars were slightly loose, which made pull-ups very uncomfortable. The middle was the worst as it was loose on both sides and could be rotated all the way around. In my opinion, this station is redundant since the rig offers the same benefits but is at a much higher quality, and I personally would not use this section of the park due to this fact. Next, let's take a look at the rope climb station. This station has 10 ropes that are around 12 foot high. From a distance it appears that the rope goes quite high, but once you actually use it, you realize it's not that high at all and you can get to the top very quickly with a few strides, which is personally slightly underwhelming. I'm not a regular rope climber, but I have climbed a rope in the past and I would say this rope has a good grip. I also believe the material and build of the rope was high quality as I did not see any fraying and I assume it's weatherproof being out in the open. I can see this station working well for boot camp and military style group training, but personally I wouldn't use this area because I'm just not really into climbing ropes. Okay, now let's take a look at the standalone monkey bar station. If I'm being honest, I didn't enjoy this station one bit. It has several issues that made it very inefficient and uncomfortable to use, and I believe it's the worst station in the park. My first issue with this station is that the monkey bars are way too low. When I use it, I had to tuck my legs and do a slight hip hinge so my feet wouldn't touch the floor. I believe anyone above 6 foot and over would not be able to use this station at all due to this fact. Due to the fact it doesn't really accommodate the taller individuals, I sort of saw this as a plaything for children in the park. The second issue with this station is that the build quality and the current condition is very poor. The bars are made of a metal that has zero grip, and most of the bars are loose, causing them to wobble and rotate as you use the station. Due to the quality and the height issues, I find this station borderline unusable, and I also find it redundant since there's a higher quality monkey bar on the Calisthenics Rig. Next, let's take a look at the push-up station. This station has 2 push-up bars, allowing multiple people to use this area. The bar material, as with many of the other bars in this fitness area, is made for a slippery metal that doesn't have the best grip, although on the push-up movements this is less of an issue. Both of the push-up bars are the same height, and in my opinion it would have been better to set the push-up bars to 2 different heights so it would accommodate the individuals with less upper body strength. Next, let's take a look at the sit-up station. This station has 2 sit-up benches. One bench is flat while the other is at an angle, which I think is a very good design choice as it allows you to perform incline, decline and flat bench sit-ups, which makes the station accessible with people for different strength goals. The footholds in the station were also very solid and hooked my feet perfectly. I also noted that the bench was quite long, which would accommodate the taller individuals. Next, let's take a look at the hurdle station. This station has 2 sloped hurdles which can be used for jumping and balancing. The hurdles are at decent height, however I'm not sure why they're sloped other than to change the difficulty of the jump. The area around the slopes is wood chip, which provides a good grip, but if you plan on doing a run up on the grass on the surrounding area, it's not the best, especially when wet. Next, let's take a look at the balance beams. These balance beams felt very solid and provided a decent amount of space to plant my feet on. The beams are all the same size and not raised off the floor very high. I thought it would have been better to have the 3 beams at different heights, as this would have provided a scaling challenge. Although the height of the balance beams was not amazing, it was decent enough to perform elevated movements such as Bulgarian split squats and incline push-ups. Next, we have the second balance beam station, which is a bigger station that follows a path and has 3 different levels. I found that the gradual elevation and length of this station made it more of a challenge than the smaller balance beams. Multiple levels also means you can scale up and down various exercises such as push-ups, tricep dips and step-ups. In terms of build, it also felt very solid and did not move at all when I put my body weight on it. The final station in this park is the dip station, and unfortunately on the date of filming, this station was out of service and it looked like it was going under some repair. I'm not sure how long it's been under repair, but I visited the park 2 weeks ago prior and it was still in the cage. Although on the day of recording, I did see someone go in and perform repairs, so hopefully it will open back up soon. Okay, now we've reviewed the equipment, let's talk about location and accessibility. The fitness trail is located inside Battersea Park, which is a large Victorian park. The park itself has many attractions such as a riverside walk, large lakes, many notable trees and garden areas, children's play areas, children's zoo, a pump house gallery, ceremony view and other sports facilities. In terms of getting to the park, I believe you'll find it very easy as there are many transport options in the surrounding area. You have the overground station, Battersea Park Station, which is 8 minutes away from the fitness area, as well as several bus links surrounding the park. You even have the option to rent a Santander park and park it outside many of the stations surrounding the park. Okay, now we've analysed everything, it's time to give the ratings. Starting with variety, I rated this outdoor gym a 4 out of 5. The gym has everything you need to get a good upper body workout. The most prominent feature to me was that the fact the trail has 8 pull-up bars of various heights, meaning it was very accommodating to individuals of different builds and allows multiple individuals to train at the same location at the same time. All of the stations in this area had multiple pieces of equipment which allowed multiple individuals to use the area at the same time, which I thought was great. However, I thought it could have been better to see some variation in the stations. For example, at the push-up station there was 2 push-up bars of the same height, and I thought it would have been more beneficial to have a higher and lower bar to scale down the exercises for beginners. Although the variety of equipment was good, I felt the trail could have been improved with the additional or a few lower straight bars and possibly an extra dip bar. For quality, I rated the park a 3 out of 5. This was a tough one to rate as there was a mixture of bad and good quality and condition equipment. The Calisthenics Rig, which I personally feel is the centerpiece of this trail, was very solid. You can tell it's made of high quality tough material, and I feel like the design and construction was thought through. The rope area and many of the wooden benches also felt very solid and element proof. On the negative side of things, I noticed the quality issues on all of the bars apart from the one on the rig. On both of the standalone pull-up bars and the monkey bar station, the bars were loose and wobbled side to side and even rotated. On top of this, on the day of my training, I noticed the dip station was out of service, which raises questions about the quality of the build. For effectiveness, I rated this trail a 4 out of 5. This was another tough one to judge, although I felt overall the equipment in this trail was great for bodyweight training sessions. As I mentioned previously, I felt the Calisthenics Rig was my favourite piece of equipment. The grip, the bar height and the circumference was perfect for me, and I can see myself getting a good workout on this station alone. Unfortunately, this trail was let down by other pieces of equipment that were problematic due to both quality and design issues. The first issue I had was that the material on the metal bars of the standalone pull-up, monkey bar and push-up station. The metal was slippery and provided a bad grip, which is not only efficient but it can also be dangerous. The second issue I had was some of the equipment was not accessible to taller individuals. The worst was the monkey bar, which suffered from both these issues, being both too low and being made of slippery metal bars that rotated and moved side to side. For location, I gave this park a 4.5 out of 5. Getting to the park is extremely simple as you have multiple choices of public transport surrounding the park and even parking inside the park if you wish to drive. On top of this, the park itself is host to many other attractions and events, meaning you could have a whole day out in the park if you wanted to. The only downside I could think of is that it could be very busy in the summer due to the attractiveness of the area, which could lead to you not having access or having to wait to use the equipment you want. Based on all of these factors, I calculate that this trail gets a rating of 3.875 out of 5. Overall, I enjoyed training in this park. I felt the rig definitely positively swayed my rating, and without it I would probably rated the park much lower, as I felt most of the other pieces of equipment had inefficiencies or quality issues. Okay, that concludes my review of the outdoor gym in Battersea Park. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing for more reviews and training videos. If you have any feedback or questions, please leave them in the comments section below. And as usual, I've left the location details of the park in the description. Thanks for watching, until next time.